Good afternoon everyone. My name is Abhishek Kumar. I am from Mohammed Banjan, Uttar Pradesh. I am BTech final year student in Mechanical Engineering at National Institute of Technology, Meghalaya. Today I will teach you physics and our topic will be electrostatic. This is our lecture overview. Electrostatic, we will see what is meaning of electrostatic and from where does it come. And further we will see the properties of charge, what is type of there, and further we will see Coulomb's law. Next we will see the vector form of Coulomb's law and further we will see the Coulomb's law in a medium. Now coming on electrostatic. Electrostatic word come from the electrodynamic. Electrodynamic means analysis of charge. Analysis of charge done at in three situations. First is when the charge is at rest, and second when the charge is moving at constant velocity, and the third when the charge is moving at constant velocity acceleration. So now coming on electrodynamic. Electrodynamic. When the charge is at rest means velocity is 0, q at b is equal to 0. Second, when the charge is moving at constant velocity means q at velocity is equal to constant. Third, when the charge is moving at constant acceleration. When the charge is at rest, analysis of this we have done in electrostatic. When the most popular application of electrostatic is capacitor. Second, the charge is moving at constant velocity. These things we will study in current electricity, electromagnetic induction and alternating current. Further, when the charge is moving at constant acceleration, these things we will study in electromagnetic waves. Now coming on properties of charge. First property, unit. The unit of charge is Coulomb. Second, type. The type of charge is two, positive and negative. Positive and negative. There will be repulsion in similar type of charge, means positive and positive and negative repulsion. Further, in this similar type of charge, there will be attraction, means minus, plus and minus. There will be attraction. Now moving on, third property of the charge. Third property, smallest unit of charge. The smallest unit of charge is E plus minus E, and if E has the value, E is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 Coulomb, and it has mass ME is equal to 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 13 kg. Further, moving on, four properties of charge, that is quantization of charge. For quantization of charge. Quantization of charge says that charge adding or rejecting from a body should be always multiple integer of smallest unit of charge, means Q is equal to plus minus NE, where N is always integer. This is integer because of why? We can understand by taking an example. Let's take N is equal to 1.5. Then Q will be 1.5 E. We can break 1.5 E into 1 E plus 0.5 E. 1 E plus 0.5 E. But we know that the smallest unit we can extract or reject from the body is 1e and 0.5 is smaller than that. This is not possible. That's why n should be always in integer. Now moving on the fifth property of charge. Fifth property, conservation of charge. Conservation of charge. Conservation of charge says that for a isolated system, charge will be conserved. Let's take a isolated system. Isolated system. An isolated system have, let's say, isolated body have a body A and it has the charge 2 coulomb. Similarly, another body is there B and it has charge 3 coulomb. And third body is there C and it has the charge -1 coulomb. We have rearranged the charge and we found that on A we got the charge is -1 coulomb. Further on B we got the charge is 2 coulomb. And here on C we don't know charge. So by applying energy charge conservation we can get the value of charge on C. Find value of x means the charge on body C. We can apply the conservation of charge, means final charge is equal to initial charge. Now final charge will be written as charge on body A 2 coulomb plus charge on body B 3 coulomb plus charge on body C -1 coulomb is equal to final charge, means charge on body A -1 coulomb, charge on body B plus 2 coulomb, and this is x plus x. Then we will get 4 coulomb here is equal to -1 coulomb plus 2 coulomb is equal to x. From here we will get 3 coulomb. In this way you can apply the conservation of charge. Now moving on to sixth property of charge. And it says without mass there is no existence of charge. Charge is no exist without mass. Sixth property is that the sixth property of charge. We know the mass varies with the velocity of object, and it is given as mv is equal to m naught under root 1 minus v square divided by c square. Where mv is the velocity of mass at velocity v, m naught is the rest velocity, and v is the velocity of object, and c is the speed of light. By this equation we can see the mass varies with the velocity, but the charge is always independent of velocity. This is all about the properties of charge. Now we will see the Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law says that when the two charges are at distance r, q1 and q2 at r distance, then the force between them is proportional to the charge magnitude of charge on a body. F is proportional to the q1. Similarly for 2, F is proportional to the q2 and inversely proportional to the square of distance between both charge. F is equal to 1 by r square. When you combine this equation, we will get F is equal to proportional to F is proportional to q1 q2 by r square. When we remove this proportionality constant, we will get F is equal to k q1 q2 by r square, where k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and it has the numeric value 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square, and epsilon naught is the permeability of vacuum. Permeability of vacuum, and it has the numeric value epsilon naught is equal to 8.85 into 10 to the power of -12 coulomb square per Newton meter square. From this equation we will get the force, but the direction we do not know. So to check the direction we have to know the sign of charge. We know the same type of charge repel to each other. Let's say this is minus q and q1 is minus q and q2 is also minus q, then it will repel to each other, and when q1 is plus and q2 is minus, they will attract to each other. In this way we can find the direction of force. Now we will see the two other points related to the Coulomb's law. Let's say one charge is here, and at a distance r from q1 another charge is there, q2. We see in this situation the force acting on q1 is always along the line joining of both charges. In that situation the force acting is called as central force. Now we can calculate the force between q1 and q2, and it is given as force on 1 due to 2 is equal to k q1 q2 by r square. Now you will keep another charge q3, and it is at x distance from the 1. Now we will calculate the force between q1 and q3. The force on 1 due to 3 is equal to k q1 q3 by x square. We have been observed that when the q3 was not there, the force between q1 and q2 was same and was equal to k q1 q2 by r square. Now q3 has come, but it is same as earlier, means this time it has the value k q1 q2 by r square. That means force between the two charges does not depend on the presence or absence of any other charge. The points to be noted in Coulomb's law is the force is conservative force. Means we can define the electrostatic internal energy. Second, force is central line force. Third point is force between two charges is independent of presence or absence of third charge. And the last point, the force is action reaction pair. Force is in action reaction pair. Now we will see the vector form of Coulomb's law. Vector form of Coulomb's law. let's take now we will see the vector form of Coulomb's law. Let's take, this is the coordinate axis, x axis, y axis. Here at the position vector r, q1 is situated, r1, and at position vector r2, q2 is there. We can define the vector r12 is equal to r2 minus r1. We know the force between the q1 and q2 will be is equal to k q1 q2 divided by distance between the both charge, means magnitude of square root of magnitude of r12 to the power of 2. Now to find the direction of force on 2, we will multiply with the unit vector of r12. R is equal to k q1 q2 by mod of r1 2 square into r cap to find the direction. Now we can write r cap is equal to vector r divided by mod of r. Further, we can write r cap f is equal to k q1 q2. We are replacing r cap with vector r divided by mod of r. So we will get vector r divided by r cube of mod of r. This is the vector form of Coulomb's law. We will see Coulomb's law in a medium. Coulomb's law in medium. The standard form of force we have derived earlier, it was in vacuum. Now we will derive the Coulomb's law in a medium. Let's take, we are keeping a charge q1 on any medium. For example, we will take H2O, water. H2O, the chemical formula of water is H2O, and it has the partial polarity property, means O has -2 minus and H has 1 plus. When q1 and q1 is positive in nature, when we will keep q1 in water, then there will be negative charge will surround this like this, and this charge will be called as induced charge, and due to the induced charge on q1, the net force will be 0. Now we will keep another charge in same medium q2. Due to that, and this is also positive in nature. Same thing will happen with q2. All the negative charge will surround it, and but here the negative charge is already there and q2 is positive. Due to this, the intensity of negative charge here will be high. Now if we are going to calculate force on q1, then it will be the force due to q2 and the force due to induced. Then we'll write on q1, let's say it is q1, the force induced in this direction, and the force on q1 due to q2 is in this direction. Now if you write total net force on q1, then we will write F net is equal to force on 1 due to 2 minus induced force. We can write the F12 for the F net is equal to K q1 q2 by r square minus F induced. This equation I am writing over here. net is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square minus F induced. F net is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square minus F induced. We found this net force is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square minus F induced. Now we found that the net force in a medium F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R Q1 Q2 divided by R square, where epsilon R is the relative permeability of medium. This is whole thing about the electrostatic law.